Good evening, board members, Mr. Gonzalez, and district staff. The time is 6:01 p.m. on this ninth day of August, 2022. And I call this business committee meeting of United Independent School District of Trustees to order. Mr. Molina?
Hello?
Ricardo Rodriguez. Let the record show that this meeting has been duly called and that the notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Act meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. The flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag, pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God. Any public comments, sir?
Not at this time.
Okay, then we jump to agenda number 3. Board discussion of property values to comply with the first indicator 20.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Molina. Texas Education Agency requires us to present to you around this time of the year the actual property value change and growth that was presented by the Webb County Appraisal District. And for UISD, we grew 34.73%. So our tax rate will drop to 80.46 cents. Lida will probably touch on this a little bit more detail when she goes over the budget.
Thank you, sir. B, notice of grant applications that may be submitted on behalf of the district.
Good evening, board members and superintendent. We're looking at 2 grant applications today. One of them is from the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, the Texas Clean Fleet Program. We're coordinating that with Business and Finance, Police, Fixed Assets, Transportation and Facilities, and that's one's going to be for later on in this month. And there is matching funds, and the amount of reimbursement is to be determined. There's also the EPA Clean School Bus Rebates. We're working on that one. That's a federal grant, and that's to reimburse us up to between $35,000 and $45,000 of the cost of a new bus, depending on if it's a CNG bus or an electric bus. Any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Item C, Child Nutrition Department presentation on adult breakfast and lunch price increase starting September the 1st, 2022. Ramirez.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, board members, Mr. Gonzalez, administrators, and members of the audience. We bring to you tonight as an informational item, adult breakfast and lunch price increase beginning September 1st, 2022. The price for adult servings for only United ISD staff will increase from $2.50 to $2.75 for breakfast and $4.25 to $4.75 for lunch. The United States Department of Agriculture is requiring the United Independent School District, which operates a non-pricing program under the community eligibility provision, to charge at least $2.52 for adult breakfast and $4.54 for adult lunch. This is based on Method 2 of the USDA Administrator's Reference Manual, Section 19, meal pricing, as the attached worksheet indicates. It would be the second page. That one. Is there any question?
Just an important note for the board members and the audience. We have not had a price increase in 2 years, and this is all based on a formula that is required by the USDA. And so we make this adjustment so that in the next couple of years, we don't anticipate any additional price increases as well.
I just had a question on the food. You know, we have a lot of complaints that that's not very good breakfast or whatever for the kids, and you know they've been trying to improve it, but I still get the complaint. You know, they don't like the service.
And yes, sir, we have been looking into that, increasing the quality and the taste of the food. We've been searching the different areas, and We're looking at that.
I think they were gonna put like different things and let them choose whatever they like.
Yes, sir.
And I heard that, I don't know if you're working on that.
Yes, sir, we're doing that currently.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Molina, and we have followed up on that. And as we make campus visits, instructional side, and other administrators that are here, we do go into the cafeteria. We also take a view on how our kids are doing. And any concerns, we do communicate with our director of Rebates. We're working on that. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Item A, approval of monthly disbursements.
Yes, sir, Mr. Rodriguez, the Division of Finance presented the board members with the disbursements for the month of July. And if you all have any questions at this time, we'll try to.
Molina. We go to item B, approval of budget amendments.
Yes, sir, the Division of Finance is actually presenting three budget amendments. Two are from our department and one is from Child Nutrition. The first budget amendment, BA 2207, is for the debt service fund. You know, we've issued a refinancing, and which we call a refunding of debt, and we have to pay some administrative costs, so we're increasing the administrative cost by $5,000. Minimal amount, but it will impact fund balance in the debt service fund. BA 2208, it's one of our end-of-year budget amendments that we bring to the board. We kind of look at the budget, we see where we have potential that there's going to be some funding needs. And so we have identified in athletics, you know, fuel was very hard to follow this year with trips, no trips, more trips, and then, you know, the trips were on and off throughout the year. So we're adding $375,000 just to close out their line item. And then we have some payroll issues between Function 41, which is administration, and 31, guidance and counseling. We're looking into this, but we feel that we need to move money of about $825,000 into Function 41. Both of these functions are being supplied from Function 31, so there's no impact on the fund balance. It's an internal budget. The third budget amendment, BA 2209, will be presented by Mr. Rodriguez.
Good evening once again, everyone. We bring to you tonight for your consideration Budget Amendment 22-07 for the Child Nutrition Program. This is to appropriate revenues and expenditures for the school breakfast program and the National School Lunch Program for the month of August 2022 in the amount of $2,453,628 in Fund 101. And there will be no effect on fund balance with this budget amendment.
Thank you. sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item D, adoption of official budget for 2022-2023 fiscal year.
Good evening, board members, Mr. Gonzalez, attorneys, and audience. Just a quick budget review of where we are now. We've had a long summer of discussions with you. I know in June 22nd, we approved pay raises. Y'all gave us the authority to add money to health insurance. So this will just kind of be a real quick overview of our budget. Let me see. Yes. So just to remind everybody that this is a requirement from TEA. We have to adopt our budget by August 31st, and we have 3 separate funds that we need to adopt a budget for, and we adopt it at a fund and function level, and at the same time, we will have to adopt the tax rate to support this budget. Our 22-23 general fund, which is one of the funds we have to adopt, our certified values, and there'll be a presentation later by our tax assessor collector. Our certified taxable values are over $24 billion. I'm sorry about that. Overall, our net property value increase was almost 35%, and the bulk of it actually came from a mineral value increase of 117%. Minerals now make up almost 25% of our tax roll. And the reason I want to talk about this real briefly is that, remember, minerals can come down almost as quick as they went up. And so next year, we'll be keeping an eye on this. And right now, because of this value increase, we are having to reduce our M&O tax rate from 94.536 cents to 85.460 cents. And the official notice came out in the paper on Sunday to let our taxpayers know what we're proposing and about our public hearing next week. So based on this, our projected tax revenue is going to be about $203 million. So we're looking at about a 9-cent decrease on our M&O tax rate. The state revenue, right now we're using a projected student enrollment of 39,389. And just to keep in mind, remember almost 2 years ago, we almost were reaching 41,000 kids, right? So we're being more conservative in our projections, but just to let you all know that, looking at our registration numbers, it does look like students are coming in. In fact, we probably are now more at 39,500 students that have now enrolled in our school. So we're keeping an eye on that. And so based on all these enrollment and attendance rates, we expect a revenue of 151 million. Now, we're going to propose to balance our budget by using our ESSER 3 funds to get us through these times where our enrollment just came down too quick for us to adjust our budget. So I'm going to show you where we did set aside money in ESSER 3 to balance our budget for this year. Our general fund expenditures, 418 million. There you see that we added to payroll. We got the new positions for Ricardo in middle school. And we added actually 15 special ed teachers that we needed based on numbers they were sharing with us. And then we included the raises that, again, you all approved on June 22nd, which was 1,600 for teachers and nurses, 2.5% increase for midpoint for professionals, and 4.5% increase for midpoint for paras and auxiliary. And we also added 4 subs. We added their $5 per day, and again, that is based on their college hours or high school diploma and so on how we pay that. And then we also are going to get ready to do that one-time payment that y'all also approved of up to $2,000, which will be funded from the ESSER 3, and we're going to make that payment on October 4th. And then our non-payroll costs are about 48.6 million, almost $50 million. This is where I wanted to show you in our ESSER 3 plan. We have set aside in that square. We knew that we would be having a shortfall in revenue, so we have set it aside, and there's a money set aside for the one-time payment. Debt service, that's one of the funds that we need to present to you to adopt the budget. Our debt service payment is a little more than $41.6 million. Based on the value increase that I showed you, where we grew by almost 35%, we are going to be able to decrease our debt service tax rate by over 6 cents. And just to let
Ms.
you all
Benavides,
know.
we need to emphasize that, but this is really big news
Yes,
to our community, to our stakeholders with new ISD. This is major news, so
yes.
go around one more time.
Yes, so the debt service and the M&O tax rate, the decrease in both of them, we're actually going to decrease the total tax rate by 15 cents. And one thing to share with our taxpayers out there that we think is very important, that when we passed the bond election almost 10 years ago, we were telling our public back then that we were going to have to probably increase the tax rate by almost 13 cents, and it would be at 28 cents. And if you look at these numbers, oh, never mind. Okay, so really we're way under what we told our taxpayers 10 years ago, that we were going to raise our tax rate by almost 13 cents to 28 cents, and really right now we're only going to be at 17 cents. So, we're telling our public, hey, we're not asking you for more than what we need to pay our debt. Food service fund, they're proposing a balanced budget of $33.2 million. And this coming year, they are going to be under the community eligibility provision, in which all our students eat free regardless of economic status. And then the last slide, August 17th, we're going to hold a public hearing before the board meeting next week. It came out in the paper about this public hearing. And then within the board meeting, we're going to ask for action by the board to adopt the budget and to adopt a tax rate. And here you'll see what Mr. Gonzalez was alluding to, that our prior year tax rate, which is the one we're in right now, we were at $1.17, and now the tax rate we're proposing is $1.02. So the total tax rate decrease is more than 15 cents. And there's an idea of what the tax savings is to a average market value resident in our district. And then this budget doesn't start until September 1st. So that will be, and I think Mr. Troutman, we talked earlier, and after the public hearing, these two items, the budget and the tax rate.
Yes, those will be for individual consideration
Yes.
outside of consent.
Yes, they won't be under consent, they'll be individual.
Individual.
So that the other board members can also.
Okay,
Yes.
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm going back to item C, which I skipped. Item C would be submission of appraisal rolls to the governing body.
Good evening, board members, Mr. Superintendent, members of the audience. I bring to you the appraisal rule, the certified 2022 values. We have what's been certified as the appraisal of value. It's $28.7 billion. We have the net appraised value of $28.5 billion, a total taxable value of $23.9 billion. We also, they're certifying 131,920 total accounts. Do you have any questions?
No.
Thank you.
No, we're good. Okay, back on track. Item E, resolution to adopt 2022 tax rate.
Yes, we bring to you the resolution for the 2022 tax rate. We're proposing to adopt what we published on the newspaper on Sunday, the combined rate of $1.22540, which is composed of maintenance and operations of 0.854600 cents, and debt service with of 0.167940, for a total of $1.22540. This will be presented to the full board to be adopted with special language. Any questions?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Item F, approval of award of property casualty insurance renewal.
Excuse me. Good evening, board members, Mr. Gonzalez, and members of the audience. My name is Ofelia Dominguez. I am the Director of Risk Management, and tonight we present to you the renewal of for the approval of the award of the property and casualty insurance renewal. Staff has completed review of the district property and casualty insurance and recommends acceptance of the renewal proposal submitted by the carrier, Property Casualty Alliance of Texas, PCAT, and AmRisk, and Carlisle Insurance. Membership for PCAT is made up of totally Texas districts and participation by interlocal agreement. The property, wind, and hail coverage will be provided by AmRisk, the casualty coverage to be provided by PCAT. The renewal annual premium for 2022-2023, it's at $4.1 million versus compared to last year at $3.5 million. There is a difference of $612,044. The main difference, it's based on the addition of the Molina Middle School and the addition of the natatorium buildings that were added for the coverage. All other deductibles and other coverages remain the same.
Any questions, sir?
Thank you very much.
Item G, approval of the awarding bids, proposals, and qualification.
Good evening, Mr. Molina and Mr. Rodriguez. Administration has the following for your consideration. RFP 2022-006, Dyslexia Instruction Program. The awarded vendors would be the Scottish Rite Learning Center of South Texas for the dyslexia portion of this RFP at an estimated annual amount of $27,000, and Reading Horizons for the special education portion at an estimated annual amount of $48,393.99. RFP 2022-017, Nursing Equipment and Supplies to the vendors listed. RFP 2022-018, Printing Services, as well to the vendors listed in the summary. RFP 2022-032, District-wide Publications to Daniels Printing Place, Quick Copy, and Rapid Print. RFP 2022-041, Drinking Water to 4L Distributors, Inc. RFP 2022-045, T-Class Decision 11, Technical Support to Westat, estimated annual amount $75,000. RFQ 2022-002, MEP Engineering RFQ for solar panels performance contract to Tessie Engineering as the most qualified. RFP 022-001, Real Estate Appraisal Services to Flato Realty Advisors as the most qualified, and Valvage Property Advisors as the second most qualified. In addition, we have 6 renewals for your consideration.
Yeah. Thank you. Item H, discussion and possible action to recommend the Board of Trustees approval of this CSP 2023-033 district-wide supply and installation of the UVC lamps.
Yes, the recommended vendor for this CSP is Unified Energy Solutions. The amount of this contract is $5,333,131.81, which includes a $50,000 contingency allowance. And just a reminder that the contingency allowances are strictly for district discretion use, not something that the vendor left out. We had 2 responses, and this was, the one that's being recommended was the most qualified response, providing the best value and price for the district.
Mr. Polito?
Thank you.
Thank you. Item I, approval of disposition of mobile learning device to graduation students at United High School, United South High School, and John B. Alexander High School, and Lyndon B. Johnson High School.
Good evening, Mr. Molina, Mr. Rodriguez, Superintendent, members of the audience. At this time, we bring before you the request to approve the disposition of mobile learning devices to the graduating students at our 4 high schools, for a total between the 4 high schools of 1,236 mobile learning devices, mainly or exclusively Chromebooks. These are for graduating seniors, and the cost was $20.
Mr. Molina? We're good.
I believe this has been, just for the record, has been done before 2 times. This is the 3rd time.
This is the 3rd time?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item J, approval of additional appraisers for the 2022-2023 school year.
Canales.
Good evening, Mr. Gonzalez and board members and committee members in the audience. We have 2 more recommendations that need approval from you all for the T-test evaluations that the principals do. These are the remaining 2 candidates that we have for your approval.
Thank you, sir. Item K, process report on the solar photovoltaic panels project.
Yes, this item and presentation was brought to the committee at the last committee meeting in July. If you all have any questions, we do have administration here to answer those questions for you, but there is no new information as far as the progress report.
So it's still the same?
It's the same. Unless there's questions, we can move on, or administration.
Yeah, one
can
of our
answer
board members had
questions.
requested to back on, but he's not here today, so.
We're just
we'll
going to
meet with
pass
him
it on?
privately. Yes.
Push it on. Thank you, sir. Item L, approval of interlocal agreement for the memorandum of understanding between Webb County Juvenile Justice Alternative Education Program and United ISD for 2022-2023 school year.
Good evening, Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Molina, Mr. Gonzalez, and Mr. Trotman, and members of the audience. We bring before you our annual MOU, Memorandum of Understanding with JJEP. They service our students that are expelled to the county alternative school. We have 2 minor changes, and one of them is just with regards to the LPAC committee. They want to be able to receive the LPAC recommendations in the child's disciplinary paperwork. In addition to that, the other change is in testing materials. Their school principal, the JJEP director, will be receiving all testing materials, either her or her testing coordinator. And those are the 2 minor changes we have in this MOU for this upcoming school year. Thank you.
Ma'am. Item M, second and final reading of the TASB update 119, local policies.
Good evening, members of the board, members of the audience, Mr. Gonzalez and attorneys. We bring before you for second reading 9 policies in update 119. These policies have been reviewed by district administrators and second reading, so they're going for approval. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item N, approval request of board members of use of Board of Trustees discretionary funds for various campuses and departments.
Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Molina, members, Mr. Gonzalez, there are no additional items, just the items that are in your packet. Any additional items will be presented at the board meeting next week.
Thank you, sir. Motion to adjourn.